Yeah, we had a mono blue April deck that was trying to use like the Moxen to power out a fast April and then draw a ton of cards with the Moxen and creatures and preordain and K command. Um, and then win the game with a big Emrakul. Because Emrakul and April really like the exact same things when it comes to deck building. April and Emrakul, they both like fast mana. So last time we were playing Moxen, and they both like you to be playing a lot of different card types, especially K Command. Obviously, K Command is like if I had my modern power rankings for individual cards, I'd put it at number two. Um, but like K Command plus April is really crazy. This is two types for April that gives you a lot of mana to cast your spells. You know, just obviously K Command's always insane. It's insane with everything, but very good with April and very good with Emrakul. And so we had this version. I started to build a like blue white control deck where I'm playing like Tune the Narrative, Wrath the Skies, blue white Talisman, and I realized kind of fast that that's like way worse than just being Simic and splashing for Sprawl, Rumble, Mycospawn. Sprawl unlocks a new card type for April and Enchantment, and also Sprawl allows you to cast April on turn 2, which is very, very strong. We're also I think that the Ugin's bindings are a lot better in this kind of shell with April compared to without, where the card advantage from this is like so real and realize that the card disadvantage on Ugin's binding you're not going to feel as much. I'm also liking the main deck explosives with all the affinity and Boros in the metagame. Get to main deck some consigns, which can scam your Nulldrifters or just be a good piece of interaction. Main decking consigns also opens up the sideboard some, so you have room for like like one thing that's nice about this build compared to regular Eldrazi is being blue red or blue green instead of red green. Is you can play Ashiok Dreamrender in your sideboard, and you actually get to play a good sideboard plan against Titan, which is very hard to do as Eldrazi, to have a good cyber plan against Titan. You got Trinisphere for prowess and Storm. You got Vexing Baubles for affinity, living end, and Neoform. You have Mystical Disputes for affinity and control. Pretty happy with the 75 overall. Let's see. Anything else in the deck tech? Every time I build a like Utopia Sprawl Eldrazi deck, I look at like Goldfish to see how they build their mana base, and I look at they're playing like 3 or 4 fetch lands. I feel like it's just not enough for us for Utopia Sprawl. Although, especially with the Ashioks on the side, I think you do want to be playing just more fetch lands in general. Oh, you think I joined the challenge with April Eldrazi? Oh my gosh, good call. Save the stream here. Really want to cast some April on turn 2 today. All right, I'm gonna mulligan. Maybe I would keep that one on the draw. I guess we're gonna go to 6 here, or go to 5 rather. All right, keep this. They were last seen playing Eldrazi Tron, although that was a long or many days ago. I think we're gonna put back the explosives. You'd pay good money for a top 10 YouTube video. What's good money? MZ with the 2 months. Thank you. Welcome back. I almost for a second tried to just figure out the rest of the top 10, but I'm like, wait, no, I can't do that for free. All right, so they're playing Tron. Usually, the Mycospawn builds are pretty good against Tron. Although we are in a mull 2-5, although we are going to be able to fill up again with the April. So we'll see how this goes. Being on the play is obviously great as well. Time for Spike to start a Patreon where he writes half-ass clickbait articles. My true calling. Hopefully they don't not see my my April here. Oh, dang it. Maybe they'll just take Emrakul. Happy to be a fan of odd number lists. Give me a top 13. Top 13 is kind of good clickbait too. So I do only have one Hedge Maze. I remember I got one email from I guess it was like a magic shop. I don't know exactly what they were, but they emailed me and they're like, "Hey, can we pay you to tell us what cards you're brewing with off stream? So just so we know what you're working with ahead of time." And I'm like, "Well, I'm really not interested in engaging in that kind of market manipulation and insider trading." And they're like, "No, that's not what this is." And I never found out what it was supposed to be, but all right, down a game here. Tough bowl to 5. Would have liked to see what this game would have been like if they hadn't taken my April. I'm gonna bring in the consigns. I think I'm gonna cut my explosives and probably binding number 2. Don't think I want any Ashioks. That's exactly what inside trading is. Yeah. I mean, it's a little different, right? But they like, because it's not like I'm Wizards of the Coast, but they were definitely like trying to, use my influence on the market for profit. I don't buy I don't buy cards and sell cards, but later today we're gonna be looking over Card Nexus. Card Nexus's new marketplace. This is not the plug yet, but I'll tell you what, my collection's up. My collection's up. My Lauren of the Third Path, it's doing great. My Takanuma, it's doing great. They added a new tracking feature to your collection, and it's definitely doing things to my brain. All right, they said no to Alzos, no to Devour, no to mine. They imprint the Devourer, then they play a turn 1 Mind Stone. Land would be great. About the opposite of a land, although it is nice that we can play Talisman with Consign up. And they've got 2 cards left in their hand. Hopefully they're low on action here. Yeah, that's a cardnexus.com, which is, you can type ! Cardnexus in the chat, and if you sign up using my link, they know that I'm shouting at their product, which is good. Okay, if I can find a soul land, then I can kick a Mycospawn next turn. Oh, they have a second card, though. So we need to find any land to be able to attack the card after they start coding me here. But yeah, the app's really good. They're still in beta. It's totally free. It's like a collection. Oh, man, would love to be able to keep this. And I just can't cast the April. Then we get buried under the coding. Okay, tough match. Tough match. Stumbling a little bit here. I've had some issues with, like, when I've bought things on TCG Player in the past, I'll get, like... And listen, I love y'all, but it's weird when you send me things like, hey, Spike, thank you for buying from our store. And it's like, I don't know, it's just a little weird having my address out there. Maybe if I did sell anything, I'd probably be shipping with like UPS or something. But yeah, it's like you buy and sell from each other. It's a peer-to-peer marketplace, is my understanding. And there is a verification process to get you in on this, but I'm just really liking this. It's still in beta. We're still very much in development over here at Card Nexus, but the team is really cool and passionate. They've been great to work with so far, and I'm liking this a little too much. A little too much. So thank you, Card Nexus, for sponsoring the stream, and thank you, Moxfield, of course. I was really appreciating Moxfield this morning when I'm just able to delete all of my decks and feel like I just use Moxfield as my management tool now. It's just completely. And they take my Rumble. My opponent bowled to 4 here, so that's gonna be fine. Let's Divination. Divination good against Thoughtseize. The more things change, the more they stay the same. I'm a little unsure about this Bajuka Bog. I just like every time I don't play it in these kind of decks, I regret not playing it. Let's go ahead and play in April. They might have like Felly Overlord here. I appreciate Mux for the ability to clear their data, clear my data storage. Just like the fact that like I use Moxfield as my it's so important to the stream. I cannot articulate that enough. The stream would just not. It's so good for collecting ideas and like searching for what I've done. It's way better than any other tool. So they grab another Felia off the Overlord. So they may be digging for a Solitude for the off this next Overlord trigger. Block here, still at 16. We do not really want to see a Solitude enter the yard, although we do have a backup April. Well, no creatures. That's very unlucky. I think that it's kind of a weird spot here. I'm gonna go Mycospawn for another temple. And I think I'm gonna play explosives on 2. Although my opponent is not, I guess I don't know if this is gonna change. It probably doesn't change anything I'm gonna do here. But my opponent is pausing, and I don't know how often they're gonna make a pause here, unless the one mystery card does happen to be a Solitude. So we're going to try to draw 2 cards with our April here. Okay, we do. Did not play very well into drawing the Consign. The Rumble will be nice for the April next turn, though. I like to have the 3/3 Mycospawn to block Ophelia, and then potentially the explosives to get another one. Although maybe my opponent will like blink this explosives, let the trade happen, then play another Ophelia. It could just be their stops. It could be, yeah. What is this? This tag you have? It looks like a Hades 2 sprite. It's cool. Anyone have restaurant recommendations in Hearst, Texas? I almost always go. I live on the other side of town, so I basically always if they build another Ophelia gross. I basically always just get fast food if I need lunch during the Hunter Burton, and then come back to my side of town to eat. I don't know a lot in the area. Dispatches earned by watching 30 Minutes and Little Nightmares 3 category. Cool. All right, so we're gonna get probably gonna try to save the spawn token to block the Overlord if I can. Let's start off with I guess I want to float a blue so I could save this blue for the Consign potentially. Although there's an Emrakul. Can I cast Emrakul? 5 types. 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can cast Emrakul. Do I cast Emrakul though? I think I kind of like just April can sign up chump block this turn. I really like Emrakul with no consign up for the Felia is a little weird. I just love that you can cast April and it just draws you. It's like it blocks really well and you just draw the same turn you play it. I've just been really liking this card a lot. I think if they blink the spawn token, we probably do not consign. Also, do I have enough mana to go Ugin's Binding plus Emrakul next turn? I think I do. I've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess I'm 1 short if I lose the spawn. Well, I guess I don't really need to do this anyways. Yeah, let's take 5 more. Saving the Consign for the Solitude, probably. I wonder if they ever Solitude on my turn, so I get to draw an extra card off the April. If Divination had a 1/5 body. Yeah, and also drew 1 to 4 cards every turn. Wait, they're really gonna let me they're gonna let me consign on their turn? Yeah, so we're just gonna go cast Emrakul, Bajuka Bog them, hold up the consign. Ah, they just conceded. Okay. So up a game against Blink. Their draw was pretty good despite being on a mold of 5. So the thing about Orzhov Blink is that if you're boarding and consign against them, and they Thoughtseize and they see the consign, they just get to play around it very easily. Although I think that this matchup dynamic is just going to be different from that, where consign against their White Orchid Phantoms, against their Felia triggers, like if you can stop that, it's going to be pretty hard for them to beat. I might want to play a 4th. If I do play a 4th, what am I cutting? Maybe an Ugin's Binding, although Ugin's Binding does seem really good against them. Yeah, let's just do 3. This is kind of the mana curve. Kind of think of Mycospawn and K-Command as 3 drops. Nulldrifter as a 2-drop. 4, 7. Kind of hard to think about. I wonder if there should be some more stock on this list to help facilitate some of the 2s and 3 seeing more. I don't know. If a K-Command to kind of dig, it just digs you so deep. But maybe. I mean, I'm not going to mulligan K-Commands. I'm a little bit torn on playing Ugin's Lab turn 1. If I play Ugin's Lab turn 1, I could draw a Eldrazi Temple, and then that would allow me to K-Command a Felia next turn. The problem with playing Lab turn 1 is White Orchid Phantom, although now my opponents revealed that they are not Orzhov, that they are Esper, and notably they could not White Orchid Phantom next turn, so probably will play the Lab turn 1. My opponent might take the Emrakul so that I can't imprint anything to Lab. I think that would be pretty interesting. Do you think April slots anywhere into Eldrazi turns, or is it too little value to occupy something like the Jace slot? So April probably draws more cards than Jace does, and is easier to cast, which is nice. Jace setting up Temporal Mastery is like really, really important part of that deck. So I don't know. But April just is more card advantage than Jace, and a 1/5 creature is better than a Planeswalker with 3 loyalty. They do take the Emrakul, I think a reasonable choice. Let's go ahead and be able to surveil here. Maybe I'll just main phase Crack the Fetch. I've been Wand and Shadow of Doubted enough, although I don't really think they probably have either of those cards in their deck. And definitely going to keep it imprintable. Well, I mean, I could take 13, block for 4 damage. We did just mill over Ugin's Binding, although they're going to exile that with the Emperor of Bones. I guess I guess I'm 1 mana short of K commanding into April next turn. So I was kind of considering not blocking with Spawn if they do Emrakul me here. Is anyone else excited for a Dandadan Secret Lair potentially one day? Are we just manifesting, or was there like any evidence? I'm all for manifesting, I guess. I'm a Dandadan manga reader. I would be excited. Oh no. Oh damn it! Sorry. All right, you can have an extra card. You mulligan so much last game. They announced a while ago. Nice. Oh, not the anime? Oh, Dan. I see. I'm also a Dan manga reader. Esther was reading with me, and then like she got like 3 chapters shy of catching up, and then she just stopped. And now she's like 30 chapters behind. Remy with the 19 months. Thank you. Welcome back. So they do have a Phantom. Yeah, see you there, Hugo. I'm excited. I haven't played Paper Magic in so long. Apologies to any opponents if I'm rusty. All right, so these consigns won't be very helpful. We get to draw 3 cards off April. Unless their last 2 cards are Solitude white card. We won't be able to consign our Nulldrifter while Teferi lives. They Overlord. I'm going to play Dimir Flash. I'm waiting to see if some cards come in today, or if I need to ask for like 1 or 2 more, but I'm excited. Okay, they Riddle, draw an extra card. They attack, so unless they have an Ephemerate, I can knock the Teferi down to 2. Or I guess they could have Solitude. Alright, let's go ahead and see if they like Ephemerate the Phantom here to block the April. Just gonna go to combat. Okay, they let the Teferi go to 2. So they probably don't have Solitude. They also could have drawn extra, right? So Emrakul would cost 7. Wait, they left the binding in the yard? I just noticed. I straight up did not notice. I cannot believe we just accidentally made the best play. Although we could have kept Consign up. We're good. We're fine. We're chilling. I did not notice that they left the thing in the yard. They just could have exiled it for sure. Alright, I'll discard a binding to hand size. I forgot to mention that with April you could discard binding to hand size, which makes binding a lot better. Oh, I just milled the binding. Okay, sorry. I totally did not even notice. I'm glad I did though. We drew 2 cards off April that turn. So April has drawn 5 cards and has been in play for 2 turns. It's like the amount of cards April gives you, it really does outpace like every single other card in history. Like this is like 2 more cards than the One Ring would have drawn us. You know what I mean? It doesn't get countered by like it also like doesn't get countered by Consign, which is like not the ring's not legal, right? But like the fact that this is a threat that doesn't get consigned, you can consign the trigger, and you're probably thrilled when that happens. I don't know. It just seems I just really like this card a lot. And they return it to Fairy to their hand with the Overlord here. And then they do not play it to hold up Consign for my Emrakul. So this is a free card, 0 mana card, basically. So let's go ahead and bait a Consign on this big K command. Now the challenge is starting in 23 minutes. On Fridays, the challenge starts like an hour after the stream start time, which is probably good for these Europeans who have not adjusted to daylight savings time yet. I'm not a daylight savings fan time to any Europeans in the chat. In fact, I'm actually like pretty against it here in Texas, where like in the summer I just hate that the sun is up at like 8 p.m. It's too long. Okay, so we're 1 short of Emrakuling. I guess we'll attack for 1. Draw 4. Discard a lab. So now maybe my opponent will play Teferi before Fellying, so I can't consign the return trigger here. I'm going to go ahead and consign this because of that Teferi line I just mentioned. You don't like it being like that long? I love... so in the Texas summers, it is like so brutally hot you can't go outside when the sun is up. It's like you cannot do any outside activities from like June to August, basically. Unless there's like rain, being outside for more than 20 minutes is just not doable. And so for me in the Texas summers, I'm just always waiting until the evening so I can spend some time outside. And like those summer nights are nice, but they because of daylight savings time, you just have an extra hour of waiting for the freaking sun to go down. So you just have 1 mana up for the Consign. I live in Atlanta. I know the feeling. I love it personally. That's good to know. I mean, I don't know exactly how different the weather is in the summer in Atlanta. I do have some family that lives out there, but I don't think I've ever visited in the summer. We also get to bounce their whole board, although bouncing the Phantoms is weird. They just concede. Okay. All right, so we're 1-1 in this league. Should have plenty of time for 3rd match here. Stumbled against Tron a little bit. What is the worst modern card that sees common play that bewilders me? I used to. At one point I would have said Graveyard Trespasser, but now it's that card I'm a big truther of. Maybe that's. I really like this question. Give me a second to think about it. Doorkeeper Troll. I shouldn't say because I just lose to it every time I play against it. But like, I think the main deck Doorkeeper Thralls and Domain Zoo they're just still weird to me. They just feel off plan in a lot of ways. Wait, did you say that before or after me, Dixon? I wasn't looking at chat, I promise. Nice Delver Girl, good luck to you. I guess I'm gonna get a Misty Rainforest here. I would consign an Overlord trigger, and I would also be interested in getting a Surveil land. Best card is April. Although it's bad we can't go Talisman into April, I guess, for the value. We'll go ahead and just keep a 2-for-1 off the top. Gonna grab another Temple, I guess, for Emrakul. And we can also play the Talisman here. Or we could hold Talisman for April. Let's do that. Let's do that. I don't 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, we can't cast an Emrakul anyways. Rumble into April is also pretty sick, I think. Oh, I somehow didn't even notice my opponent missed a land drop last turn. Let's get ready to rumble. April, please come to me. Fine, I'll win the game. Fine. If Solitude and Ephemerate or just Solitude? Ephemerate 2 would be something to keep them in this game. I guess we should have attacked first. Do I want to consign the Solitude Rebound? I don't know. If I need this Temple to top deck an Emrakul, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Oh yeah. Oh wait, sorry. I'll need 8. Okay, well maybe I could have left this. I'm okay with them consigning the Mycospawn at this point, because we're trading with it anyways. My life total is really high. If we just truly top deck nothing the rest of the game, it is what it is. Although getting a fetch land to thin also is like honestly not irrelevant here. They do draw a land. The 4th Mycospawn would be the funniest draw. Although this is the best draw on every single turn of every single game. Leave a blue up for April. Then I could keep this up for Consign. Let's not bounce the Solitude. Well, I'm heartbroken to not find an April, so we'll cast an Emrakul and then a K command next turn. But April would have drawn us 4 cards. Binding's been really good. We discarded one to April to hand size. It was sick. Like the card advantage from April means like Ugin's Binding is just so much better. Oh, I guess I miscounted. Yeah, so we have 7 instead of 8. Okay, well we'll be fine here. If there's a deck that can play as many top 10 cards of Modern as possible, the same way people brag about their no banless Modern decks having 28 ban cards. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you are right that it's not super good to just play all banned cards or all the top cards because they just have to work together. If they find a Solitude, they find a Witch Enchanter, we can consign the Solitude. Yeah, we have K Command Ocelot Prided more than once. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I wanted to use the binding or not. they conceded, so I don't have to choose. Yeah, just gonna do the same sideboard plan. Click submit. Challenge starts at 13 minutes. Hopefully we yeah, I wasn't sure if this is the kind of deck you want to main deck 4K commands in or not, if this is the right metagame for it. I don't know how often we need cards, removal, graveyard hate, and mana. But I don't know. It seems okay right now. Could we not consign the fetch land just now? No, a consign could not counter fetch lands. It could only counter activated abilities. Yes, we are playing the Leo deck in the challenge. Made some changes compared to Wednesday's build. Got Damping Spheres in the sideboard now, and one less Gearhulk, and one less Starfield Shepherd, one more Ranger Captain, one more Halia. Other way around, yeah. Wait, sorry. Yeah, triggered ability is not activated. Sorry. But like in the deck a lot. I think it's possible you only want to play 3 Leos. Like I was thinking about playing 1 Rumble over Leo 4, and I'm like, okay, let's just chill. All right, let's keep this on the draw. Keep that. If they ever do Image 4, you could contact the work on it. Please suggest they make a card called Inquisition of Kolagon, so we can fully swap our IOKK commits. All right. I probably would remember that if if I get called in. I'm pretty sure the main phase of Surveil is pretty sus against Orchid Phantom. I'm thrilled if they Phantom this instead of the Temple. I think I might do get a breeding pool because of Phantom though. But I don't know. I just have been Shadow of Doubted and Wand a lot, so I think that's what this is about. But I don't really. If they Phantom me, then they're not getting my Temple. Isn't that good news? We thought about the one green drop enchantment that fights for the Leo deck. I mean, fight effects in Modern are almost never good, but I don't know what card you're talking about, and I would read it if you linked it, I guess. Genuine question with a number of activated abilities and legendary spells. Is it worth it to run a Tails End or two with the consigns? I do think Tails End's not so bad. Consign just being 1 mana and you can like have it up as soon as turn 1 with like after playing a talisman. That's really valuable. It can scamming your Nulldrifter is a bit more valuable. But I'm not a hater of Tails End. Okay, I really like that they ephemerated their Riddler here. It's good for me, I think. Okay, so it's an aura when it enters, enchants a creature. So this gets got by creature removal. Yeah, I mean this card's just not playable in Modern. You would just play Thraben Charm and or Solitude in the Leo deck for sure. Yeah, it's cool that you can get it off the Brightglass Gearhulk, but that doesn't make it powerful enough in my opinion. Oh, they could throw this Nulldrifter at me, but they decide not to do that because they have Consign in their hand. I presume. Let's tap the right mana and then Rumble. We mill 2 Ugin's Bindings, but I don't have a big Eldrazi yet. So yeah, I think with my opponent again very heavily. I mean they also just might put this end of turn, which I guess would be okay. But I'm just gonna play April, draw 2. Yeah, you just get Static Prison off Gearhulk. So see if they want to consign my April trigger or just put Nulldrifter into play. We really want to draw a big Eldrazi so I can get these bindings back before my opponent gets rid of both of them. Looks like they are going to put the Nulldrifter into play end of turn. I can double block the Emperor with the Mycospawn in the April to trade Mycospawn. They return no cards to their hand with Overlord. Then they play a Marsh Flats. I guess a big Eldrazi, assuming that they do have that consign. Maybe that's not great. Challenge also starting in 7 minutes. Hopefully we can finish this match in time. They do exile one of the bindings. They attack with just the flyers. Good job seeing this double block. I don't think it's like the most visible. Like I think a lot of modern players might have missed that. They could also consign to scam their Nulldrifter into play here. They don't. I start my turn by drawing a Nulldrifter. So let me just go. I mean, sorry. I don't think we've got much choice than to. Well, maybe I can bait with the spawn. Yeah, yes, that's true. I think we should be able to bait a consign with this. They don't float any mana. I could play another Mycospawn, but then I'd have to fetch shock, so let's just go ahead and evoke this Nulldrifter. So they're going to counter these two. And then they are going to get to exile the other binding. And then we get to draw 2 off the April. 1, we've got enchantment and creature. I guess I'll Bojuka Bog them. And draw 2. Found the Emrakul. April drew us, what, 6 cards so far? It is kind of funny how I just never know how many cards has been drawn from April. So they main phase Solitude the April. They would have maybe done this in their upkeep to draw an extra card of Riddler if they had already had that. I go to 8 life. Then they warp a Riddler, draw 3. So like some games of Eldrazi, this may just come down to, does my opponent draw a consign? They do exile the other binding. They hit me for 4 down to 4. My Emrakul costs 10. I don't think this is gonna be enough mana for me to kick a Mycospawn, especially with them having another thing here. 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so I guess I could cast another Mycospawn. I think I'd rather just be able to kick these next turns. I guess they could somehow have a like random dispute. I don't know. I've seen stranger things. Bad last season. All right, did they draw a consign and the 3 cards off the Riddlers? Looks like they did not. We get to control them. So they're going to crack their fetch. Oh, they're going to concede. Okay, so we're 2-1 in the league here. I think April's looking great in the shell. Maybe not the most exciting shell for April, but she could find a home here for sure. Let's keep this in the blind on the draw. I'm kind of coming to terms with Frog that like it just like isn't good if your deck's not full of cheap interaction. You know what I mean? You just need to play a lot of interaction for the card to actually be a good Magic card in your deck. Bobo Baggins for the 17 months. Thank you. Welcome back. The trophy loss was not a typical representation of the matchup. Yeah, I did kind of feel like we should probably be pretty good in the matchup. Haha, playing around one, Shitong. Yeah, gonna play the Talisman this turn with the April draw. Might end up just cycling the explosives on 0 on the turn we play April. We'll see. Somewhat interested in casting Sprawl next turn for April as well. Let's see if this resolves. If this gets countered, I'll Sprawl. It's kind of funny. I look dumb for like sprawling second main phase, but I don't care about looking dumb. All right, we'll grab a Temple here, and now we'll just play this tapped. I imagine Frog and Goryo's is still good. Well, Goryo's is a deck that does play a lot of cheap interaction, though. Goryo's definitely meets that qualification of decks with lots of cheap interaction. And it's also a good combo piece. Certainly it's still good there, yeah. My opponent almost certainly has a counter spell in hand. Let's just go ahead and evoke a Nulldrifter. Another one. Alright, at this point, let's run out the Sprawl. That gets counterspelled. Alright. Great news for us. They cling to dust my Sprawl. Yeah, I'm gonna get in. I think this turn I'm just gonna hardcast a Nulldrifter. It might be better to try to spawn or K command. The thing is, against these decks, just letting them like 1 X equals 2. Although crack the face to beat the 1, I guess. 1 or like consult the star charts. Like you just don't want to let them do that. Blue green Eldrazi with no copies of Woodland. I don't know. We could play Woodland. Woodland might be fine. I tend to think that Eldrazi decks do not play enough fetch lands and forests for Utopia Sprawl. I think that some of the builds can kind of get away with playing less because they have Devour of Destiny, and so they can mulligan a bit more aggressively. We don't have Devour of Destiny in our build, so like I think that that's kind of sketch too. But I like a lot. I just think it's that they just play a sus amount of forest, and so I'm just trying to not be there, I guess. Oh, it's game 1. It's cast Emrakul. The Woodland April would go kind of hard. We could play Woodland over Bajuka Bog, maybe. I think more forest is okay against all the land destruction. Yeah, but it's not even just more forest, like just more fetch lands too. We got Snap Cling, that's pretty good. Or Snap Edict, that's pretty good. Drowned Catacombs, huh? So I guess I play Drowned Catacombs, Cling to Dust their 1, Fatal Push, Evoke. I guess it's better to exile the 1 as part of the cost here. Alright, you have nothing, but you do get an extra turn. Don't say I never gave nothing to you. Oh, it's funny you have to click Yield for All for both players. Although, I guess I did fill up their yard again for the Cling to Dust, huh? Not really much for the Snapcasters. They Cling. Kind of weird to use a K command like this, but if it gets countered, I want to be able to April. Alright, so keep the Sprawl for the April card count. I might be playing too many of my spell types here. So April, draw 5, right? Artifact, creature, instant, kindred, enchantment. Draw 5. And then discard 2 Ugin's bindings. Not shabby. Definitely on the high end of April turns here. I guess, yeah, this is fine, because then I can still go Nulldrifter plus Consign if they counter this. Alright, let's stop playing with the food. Let's play Emrakul again. I first thought April at 4 mana is ridiculous. I've seen how many cards Spikers draw there. I have to say good night. Good night to you too. April's pretty good. April is pretty good. Remember Matoya? Was she mounted? Yeah, it was. Matoya was really disappointing because our first our first like match with Matoya, she popped off so hard, and then that was just variance, unfortunately. Not the worst variance. Consign against Juan ETB and Snapcaster ETB and Subtlety is not the worst, and the scams. I think I'll play 0 bindings. Vexing Bauble hits Evoke Subtlety is kind of too narrow. Could play Explosives on 2 is not that bad, actually. So we can play 3rd Consign or 1 Trinisphere. Let's do 1 Trinisphere. This guy here, what's the reason for K? Yeah, I don't know. K command, I know usually you don't play more than like 1 or 2. But I just kind of feel like my deck is, it's a little bit interested in cards, mana removal, and graveyard hate. I don't know. It was a tough deck building call for sure. But that's what you come to twitch.tv/aspiring spike for. Bold deck building choices like 4K commands in this metagame. I want to turn to April. Let's draw an imprintable. Yeah, the Kindred on K command really pushes it over the top in this deck. Second, I mean that lets me cast a K command, I guess. We did win round 1. Yeah, we put against Hollow 1. Now, maybe punish for putting back the breeding pool if they counter this. They don't though. You know, somehow I didn't anticipate whenever I play this card all of the month puns. I should have anticipated them though. Let's go to Explosives on 2 here. Yeah, it's crazy how good April is in this deck. It's just once I realized April and Emrakul the Promise and they just want you to build your deck in the same way. Bunch of card types, bunch of mana. And it wasn't too tough to get this together. Although we did start off with the Affinity version first instead of this more normal version. So we're hoping that, you know, we could resolve April. If we could draw a land and go Talisman into April, that would be really nice. They got a Steam Vince here. 11 matches in progress before round 2 of the challenge starts. You could play Portent. I don't think Portent is very good. Are we going to board out some Utopia Sprawls because of Cryptic? I don't think so. Just try not to put them all on the same land. Any Casey? Yeah, we haven't. Casey Jones is another one we need to circle back to. And we need to circle back to. What's the card called? Rat King. So those are both on the to-do list for next week. And then we'll see how this goes. This deck might be Monday Challenge. We'll see. I think I'm gonna go to game 3. Tough Bowl to 5. Cryptic Command. Pretty cool there. I was actually talking to a friend of mine last night who's like wants to play the Dimir deck, and he's like, Cryptic Command? Can we? Let me just make a double note on the Casey Jones. Has anybody else been Casey Jones consigning? It seems like it mostly goes in like Jeskai Ephemerate, but probably a slightly lower to the ground build. When was the last time I cast a Cryptic Command? We could find out by going to moxfield.com/user/aspiring-spike and typing Cryptic Command. Probably hasn't been that. I think we played a Reclamation build with it. Oh, this is I don't know why this one's coming up. I have Command in the name. I don't know if there's something else triggering the Cryptic. But yeah, we played it in the Bant Rec. It It was pretty good to loop with a Auroral Procession. And then Aurora Procession on Scepter, cast Cryptic every turn. Modern is a healthy format when people are considering Cryptic. Cryptic Command over Doorkeeper. It's hard to say that Cryptic Command sees play. I know we just played against one. Hard matchup to mulligan in. Hard to mulligan a Dispute and the Mycospawns, although hand could be a little slow if we can't surveil into Eldrazi Temple, Malevolent Rumble, Talisman, Utopia Sprawl, or Imprintable. So that's a lot of good stuff to surveil into. My opponent mulls to 6, so I'm feeling okay about our spot here. Cryptic Command was definitely one of those cards I was like very enamored with when I was first getting into Modern. Could maybe keep that for Mycospawn. I think I'm going to be a little bit more ambitious. I'm also just going to run out the explosives. So I want to play around Spell Pierce here. I don't think I want to use the Dispute either, so I'm just going to not represent it. Maybe not using the Dispute is a big mistake. I just feel like I really want to save it for the April turn. Like, April into Dispute seems just like game over. Are we going to get Harbingered? Alright, now I regret my decision. Eldrazi Temple! Ugh, that is sort of the opposite of Eldrazi Temple. Weird game. I think I just kind of need them to stumble a bit, so let's dispute their draw 2. We're also about to be going to discard. They have all spells in their hand, and so do I, so it's probably in a fair game here. Well, they're going to kill the explosives anyway, so we'll pop this. Do we still do deck techs? We do deck techs between rounds a little bit, so if you got something right before the round, that'd be good. No paid deck techs, though. Alright, if we draw a Temple or a Lab this next turn, I guess I'll be saying that next turn, too. You gonna bounce the land with Cryptic Command? Yes. Yes, they are. Sorry, I should have fetched because of the wand, but we just don't need to fetch right now then. So the good news is we can cast Mycospawn next turn. Fetch before they can wand me. I don't think I've ever been like this destroyed and just been very happy to be here. I guess we'll discard April at this point. Oh, I shuffled the lab away. Oh, sorry. That's pretty bad. Wasn't exactly expecting them to cast Lorien Revealed and just totally tap out. We do get to start chewing through their consigns. It's crazy that we might win this game still, although not very likely. They main phase a Juan as a 5/5. Why fetch? Because of Juan. So I think they're just gonna go Consign into kill me with Hall of the Storm Giants here. But yeah, I did forget about the lab on top. Only one match in progress, although only 35 minutes on the clock. I'll let him kill me with all of the Storm Giants. Let's go. So 2-2 in this league. If y'all have any decks you want me to take a look at, now's a good time. We'll just chill before round 2 of the challenge starts. We're 1-0. Okay, we have one more match in this league, but I'm gonna go ahead and drop because I think I just want to be playing Shifting Woodland over the Bajuka Bog. Weird match. Yeah, Kageman is easier to beat when they don't have it, which is a good reason to not play it in the metagame. It's just so bad when you don't have it. But April has been really dang good in this shell so far. Isn't Cyborg Bog a good option? I don't think it is. It's like Bog is like